Hey there, Sam's family and friends. Today we're going to go over my favorite tips for entertaining. We're going to get into how to prepare, go over some different decor ideas that are quick, easy, and inexpensive, and then of course some DIYs. So keep on watching. The first thing you want to do for any event is to have a plan. Know what guests are coming and how many guests you have coming. The next thing I like to do is make sure I have a plan for food. So I write down all of the different food I'm having. I may go through my recipes and pull out the recipes that I really like to make sure they are included. Another great idea is to have a potluck Thanksgiving. Everybody has a dish that they cook and it is delicious. So why not have everybody bring the dish that they feel most comfortable cooking, and that way everyone gets to share and that person feels great because someone really enjoys the food that they've brought. This way the host doesn't have to clean the house, make sure the bathrooms are clean, have all the food, decorate everything. They are not responsible for the entire party. So it's a great way to get everybody included and ease the stress of the host or hostess. Next thing I like to do is go through my recipes and print everything out. I know that sounds like a waste of paper, but I've had many parties where I have constantly had to pull up all of my recipes on my phone or on my tablet, and either my phone gets wet or my tablet shuts off and I can't see what the recipe is and I have to go back in and find it. The next thing I like to do is plan out my oven time. So I want to plan out when different items are going in the oven to make sure everything's as hot or warm as possible. And then next, I like to take my phone and actually set timers. And I know it seems simple, like set a timer, but when you have multiple items cooking at multiple times, you only have so many timers in your kitchen. So what I like to do is take my phone and I'll actually put in the item and set a timer for when the item goes in and when the item comes out. All right, it's time to get into decor, and we are going to start with our napkins, our plates, and our flatware. If you are looking to save some time for cleanup, this is a great thing to do. Go get yourself some nice flatware, some nice plates, and some nice napkins from Target, Tuesday Morning, Walmart. They all sell them nowadays. For your table decor, some really easy, inexpensive things that you can do are go get some fresh flowers. Everybody loves fresh flowers. They bring a lot of color, a lot of life to your table, and they're inexpensive as well. And then just use some jars or some cans you already have around the house to stick them in. When I arrange my flowers or I do flowers for holidays, I like to send people home with the flowers. So what I do is I will save candle containers and I will freeze them, and then I will take out the wax and I will use them inside of these little jars, and then people can take them home. As far as arranging flowers, if you don't typically arrange flowers, I can give you some tips on that as well. I like to take my little containers, lay them all out, pour the water in, and then of course use the flower saver packets because they do help keep the flowers fresh longer. And then I have 3 containers, so I like to split my flowers amongst the 3 containers, so I make sure I have enough for all 3 of them. They're not cut exactly to size because each of the little glasses in there are different heights. One of my tips for if you're new to this is find a glass that has a smaller opening because you'll have a better arrangement that way. The bigger the top of the opening is, the more difficult it is to keep the flowers in place. And here you'll see I'm just putting all the flowers in at the height I like them and filling in any gaps with flowers. You probably noticed in the background I have a little bud vase. I like to keep that bud vase specifically for my bathroom flowers, so I make sure I put a few little flowers in there as well. All right, let's set the table. So on the table, the first thing I like to do is lay down a table runner, and in this case I'm using a table runner I already had from last year for Thanksgiving. Another great idea that's cheap and inexpensive would be to use brown rolled paper. Now this way people could write on the paper, you could write on the paper to assign people seating, you could put little pictures on the paper. I've even done where I painted the paper with chalkboard paint and then wrote on things with chalk. So that's a really inexpensive way to add character to your table. Okay, my next DIY is going to be to draw some little tiny turkeys, some little tiny leaves, some little tiny pumpkins, whatever makes you happy. And draw it on some nice paper. I like watercolor paper because it cuts nice, it's nice and firm. And then you can use these as place cards. You can write on there what you're grateful for about each of the people. You can use them to mark all of the food. There are so many different things you could do with this. You could even draw little things, leave them blank, photocopy them, and use those as artwork for children to color in to keep them busy. Okay, my next suggestion is for the night before. You can set out all of your servingware that you'll be putting everything on to make sure that you have everything ready to go, especially if people are bringing things and you want things plated a certain way. This way they can bring it in and drop it where it needs to go. And you can use all your cute little labels that you just made and stick them in the little items so that people know where to put them. Okay, my final tip comes from my brother and sister-in-law. They go to BJ's, Costco, wherever your big box store is, and get some Chinese food containers and then stick that little label right on top so people can take their food home with them. Thank you all so much for stopping by and watching this video. I hope you found at least one tip that's going to help you this Thanksgiving. And you know what I'm thankful for? You. I'm thankful for you for watching this video. Thanks so much. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.